the Blob.
Welcome to Bob Blob's. I don't know what I want to call this. It's a working title. I've thought about quick thoughts with Bob Blob rants. I don't know what to call it. It's a working title. But yeah, basically what I'm going to be doing here is just ranting on certain topics in case I don't have a show. Like today and like for the past few weeks, which I apologize, but I've been working on Fridays, the day I usually do my show. So obviously a lot has happened for the past few weeks with wrestling, with the Super Bowl, with football, with basketball, with the Blake Griffin trade. But I do want to get on wrestling and the Super Bowl real quick. First, with the Super Bowl, the Patriots play the Eagles this Sunday. And this is probably the least excited for the Super Bowl I've been in a very, very, very long time. And I know Nick Foles has played great, especially 2 weeks ago when he destroyed the Vikings, which killed my interest in the Super Bowl anyway, because I thought at least the Vikings, even if they were going to lose, they would have had it interesting with the home, quote-unquote, home field advantage, considering that it is in Minnesota. That's where the Super Bowl is located, going against Tom Brady and see, oh, man, he's got to go against a great team. We have to go in that environment where most of the people are going to be against him. Wow, what's he going to do? And the fact that Nick Foles, Alshon Jeffrey, Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount, Nelson Aguilar, that defense that hasn't allowed points in any side anytime within 2 minutes all season long, which is an amazing stat, by the way. Considering all that going on, it killed my interest. But despite my lack of interest in the Super Bowl, I still have to give a prediction. And my prediction, and I say this a lot for Patriots games that's not against an elite quarterback, and I shouldn't because they proved me wrong and the games end up being tighter than it should be. But I see a Patriots easy win against the Eagles. It's not going to be drama filled like it was last week when they had to come, not last week, 2 weeks ago, when they had to come back against the Jacksonville Jaguars and beat a great defense in an excellent defensive play on 4th down in order to seal that game against the Jaguars. And I said on Twitter, speaking of the game, I said on Twitter that was probably the clutchest defensive play I've seen from the Patriots in a very long time, and which includes that pick interception at the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And some people carrying me like, hey, how is that not more clutch? How is that interception not more clutch than that defensive deflection? One, because that was a good ball by Blake Bortles, which I never would have thought I'd say. That was a good, well-thrown ball by Blake Bortles. Second of all, you have to follow the ball and time your leap perfectly, because we saw on the week before with the Saints and Vikings, if you do not time your leap perfectly, either at a defender or at a football, you could have easily allowed a touchdown, which is how the Vikings got an NFC Championship only get blown out. That's how they got in that game in the first place. So you take that into account. Secondly, if you want to talk about why I think that defensive play was more clutch than the interception on the 1 yard line, one was a great defensive play on a well-thrown pass. The other, which is the interception, is capitalizing off stupidity. That's just what it is. It's sure you can say Malcolm Butler. It took great concentration. It took great mental awareness to cut off the guy and intercept the ball. But at the same time, they shouldn't have been passing the ball in the first place. The one in Jacksonville, the one against Jacksonville was a play where it was a good throw ball, one-on-one coverage, a jump ball, anybody's ball, and Stephon Gilmore was able to swat the ball away. That, to me, is much more clutch than capitalizing off a stupid play calling, which Pete Carroll should have been fired on the spot after that. And I know some of you guys are thinking, man, you sure talking a lot about the Patriots in this. You want to know why I'm talking a lot about the Patriots? Simply for the fact that I think they're going to win this game. I personally think it's going to be a game where it's not going to be a blowout, but the Patriots are going to control the clock, control the field, have some long drives where the Eagles have to score quick and end up having Nick Foles make some mistakes. But if this game is close, if the Eagles are actually leading, I see another one of those Patriot comebacks against a team that hasn't allowed. It would be so fitting too. Tom Brady, who I said is the greatest player of all time, greatest quarterback of all time, as much as I hate to say it would be so fitting too that if the Eagles are leading by 4 or more points, he drives on the field and throws a game-winning touchdown against an Eagles team that has not allowed any points within 2 minutes of the ball game. It would be so fitting too. So if the game's close, I imagine that happening. But overall, my opinion, Patriots win 27-20 off a late maybe a late touchdown, a gimme touchdown by Nick Foles or something like that. But 27-20, the final score. Patriots win. Congratulations, Tom Brady. Yes, 6. Go ahead, get your Michael Jordan on. Greatest of all time. And to some wrestling news, real quick. Some wrestling, as some people would say. First of all, congratulations to Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura for their Royal Rumble victories. Both good Rumbles. The men's one was better just for the fact that the legends. What a gripe about the women's Royal Rumble. I know it's the first ever. I know that you had to do it. But you had some, I guess you could say legends or Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers. You had some of them tossing out to me of the new breed. Or the current era. Or the new era, as they like to say. You had too many of them. Like, especially Michelle McCool. There's no reason why she should be out there looking like 01 or 02 Kane. I forgot which year. 02 Kane just throwing out everybody. Even though she has not wrestled in the WWE for years. There's no way that should happen. I feel like some of the veterans stayed too long. Molly Holly looked great. Lita had the scariest bump of the night with the moonsault. Where thankfully she was fine, but she always killed herself. But ultimately, Asuka won, and people want to talk about Ronda Rousey debuting after it ruined Asuka's moment. When in reality, my opinion, it didn't take away from her moment. Congrats to Asuka. She won the first Rumble. Number one. Number two, Asuka hasn't lost. She hasn't been pinned. She hasn't been tapped out. I don't think she's ever been counted out. She might have lost like a Battle Royal or lost in some kind of 4-way, 5-way back in NXT. But overall, her herself in one-on-one competition, she's never lost. And so for someone undefeated, someone that still has that hype around her, to have her quote-unquote moment taken away from her that people feel, I don't believe that at all. Now, what I am mad about in terms of Ronda Rousey is the fact that she didn't show up for Raw or SmackDown the following days after the Royal Rumble. That did irk me a little bit. And Raw and SmackDown this week were good, by the way. Raw, even I'm not a fan of John Cena beating Finn Balor, but hey, what can you do? That's just a small gripe. Don't know what's up with John Cena acting all weird and letting the crowd, quote unquote, get to him. John Cena normally plays to the crowd, but he's more like, "Good guy, come on now," which I watched it back a couple of times. I think it might have been on purpose, but if it doesn't lead to anywhere, then I don't get it. But the announcers coach, who came in, Booker T's now just in a pre-show. Jonathan Coachman left ESPN now on the Raw commentary team. Corey Graves and Michael Cole were pointing out, like, John Cena is acting very weird and antagonistic to the crowd, which is very unusual. He's normally just plays to them, be like, "Ha ha, I'm John Cena. Look at me, I'm Superman. Woohoo, do 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 do." Normally he's like that, but he was acting like, "Hey guys, come on! Like, I'm just trying to go to WrestleMania." I don't get that, so hopefully that leads somewhere. I don't know what they're doing with Finn Balor, having him lose clean. I thought maybe the club would have cost them or something, but he's losing clean to John Cena. I don't know what that does for him. Other things from Raw. Loved the Sasha Asuka match. Loved it. Sasha Banks, who's showing a little bit more heel-like actions coming from that Women's Royal Rumble, joining out her friend Bayley to acting very cocky, looking like the old boss from NXT. Looking like that. Maybe that heel turn's coming. Another gripe. I know I'm nitpicking a lot. Maybe I'm nitpicking a lot, but another gripe. This should have been used for the Elimination Chamber. They should have saved this match for you. It was a very good match, very physical match. Scary bump by Sasha Banks. Diving. I really hate her doing the suicide dive. It looks like she's going to damn near kill herself. That's the reason why it's called suicide dive. But hers looks the absolute worst and scariest. Luckily, she was fine. She did a suicide dive. I think her foot got caught in the rope into an Asuka kick. Asuka took a pretty scary, but thanks to Brian Zane, who wrestled with regret. I mean, he didn't talk to me personally, but from a video, but he taught me how that dive was a little bit safer because she was controlling how she was going to land and things like that. Asuka took a scary bump too. But overall, very physical match, very great match. I should have saved it for the Elimination Chamber. Maybe there's a rematch at the Elimination Chamber. I don't want it to be. I'm hoping Sasha just in the Elimination Chamber in general. You know, her and Bayley. I'd like to see a little bit more in that. If I was to book this situation, Asuka and Bayley in the Elimination Chamber. And some people hate the victory roll, the roll up, but Bayley from behind rolls up Sasha and pins her in the Elimination Chamber, therefore eliminating her as payback for the Royal Rumble. And that sparks a little bit more of that fire that leads to the Sasha Hill turn, leads to that match at WrestleMania, which should be good. Hopefully, it's not putting the dead spot. Hopefully, it's not putting it in a dead spot, because they deserve the appreciation, they deserve the respect, they deserve all the time in the world. Like SmackDown, for instance, with their Royal Rumble winner Shinsuke Nakamura going against AJ Styles at WrestleMania. We're presuming, I'm assuming. I don't believe that they're gonna give the title to Kevin Owens. I don't believe they're gonna give the title to Sami Zayn, which also is a good dynamic. These two a little bit hostile towards each other from SmackDown. You know, they have to go against each other next week on SmackDown to see who goes against AJ Styles at, I believe, I don't know if it's at Fastlane or if it's going to be on a SmackDown for the WWE title. Another gripe. Here he goes. Bob with another gripe. Another gripe. What happened with the Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan thing? Last time I checked, they were supposed to be counteracting each other, you know, with one person pretty much favoring, which is Daniel Bryan, pretty much favoring Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The other one kind of antagonistic and kind of hate them, like Shane McMahon for Kevin Owens attacking his father, you know, attacking Shane McMahon, and then Sami Zayn for costing Shane McMahon the match against Kevin Owens at Hell in a Cell. And these two are supposed to be at each other, but for the past few weeks, they've been buddy-buddy. In fact, Daniel Bryan's the one that put Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn next week. And Shane McMahon had nothing to say about it. What's up with that? Are we supposed to just forget that these two are at each other? Is this going to lead to somewhere? Are we supposed to just forget everything that led up to this moment? Because if so, that's extremely disappointing. And that made what happened these past few weeks pointless. And that, I don't like. But overall, good SmackDown. The Usos with a great promo. With being real, talking about overcoming all the obstacles that got in their way. They didn't mention the DUI, but that was an obstacle too. Defeating the tag team, which a great first fall, but terrible second fall in that Royal Rumble match between Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Usos, who the Usos won. But likely going to get the Bludgeon Brothers either at Elimination Chamber or at WrestleMania. You know, I love their promo. Not sure how I feel about the AKA the discount Wyatt family. But for the most part, the Usos has had some very great matches with tag teams for the past, let's just say 6 months or so, maybe. So, hard to believe that even with Luke Harper, who I'm high on, and Eric Rowan, who I'm not high on, it's hard to believe that the Usos don't find a way to make their eventual match entertaining. In NXT, of course, great show, start the show again. Gargano and Cien Almas. Oh my God. I'm not about to go to the details of this match. If you're even a % of a wrestling fan, just 1%, I suggest you watch that match. Match of the year. I know it's February, but match of the year already. Luckily, we still got 11 more months to top that, but that is hard to follow. And I'm agreeing with people that say that Johnny Gargano is kind of like the new Daniel Bryan. And when he gets called up, I'm hoping he's treated better than Daniel Bryan was. In terms of not having to have a whole movement, not having to almost have WrestleMania screwed over, not having to have a guy quit in between just so you have to change plans in order to get this guy in the main event. Hopefully treated with much more respect, because we've seen plenty of NXT people get crapped on and not get the respect they deserve and not get the reward they deserve since getting called up. So I'm hoping Johnny Gargano, when he is called up, it may be after this match, or by SummerSlam, because we all know him and Tommaso Ciampa has to feud, and it shouldn't just be a one-off at NXT Takeover. Is it New Orleans? I believe, because I think that's where WrestleMania is. Yeah, NXT Takeover New Orleans the night before WrestleMania. I'm hoping Johnny Gargano gets respect reserved when he's called up, because he deserves it. We've seen his great matchup. We saw it in the Cruiserweight Classic. This man has talent. We saw it Saturday at NXT at the Takeover Saturday. This man is one of the most talented guys on the roster. It's up there with AJ Styles, in my opinion. In the Mixed Match Challenge, to end things off, Mixed Match Challenge, Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss is yes. that's the best way I can put it. Is yes. A lot of these mixed match teams are but the yes. But Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, team little big, not a fan of the name, but I get it. Alexa Bliss being super short and Braun Strowman being super tall. If you're not watching their videos, if you're not watching the fact that the high five, it's everything they're doing. The Twisted Bliss off Braun Strowman, who's taller than the ring. I guess not the ring or the turnbuckle. There we go. Taller than the turnbuckle. Jumping off that. Everything they're doing, the interactions, their promos, is yes. Is yes. Asuka and Miz is yes. Sasha and who is she teaming with? I believe Finn Balor. Yeah, Sasha and Finn Balor is Bobby Roode and Charlotte is yes. And I said this before. I said this on Twitter. But this is like a fun side quest in a video game. You can play the main story, sure. But that side quest has you distracted. Like, you know what, this is kind of fun. And you end up playing that more than the actual game. Because you're going to eventually beat the story regardless. But the side quest is so much fun, you don't want to stop it. And this mixed match thing is very fun. And even the crowd is into it. Because if you saw the post promo of the victory, spoiler alert, Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss won that. Even with the promo, the crowd was into them. Everything they said, they was taking on every word. And they're playing to it, too. They're having a time. It's just overall fun. I know, and I'm not a fan of Michael Cole. So the most interactive... shut up, Cole. But I love it. I love it. And I suggest if you're a wrestling fan, if you just like the fun of wrestling, I suggest you watch the Mixed Match Challenge. But yeah, this is just a rant. These are just rants. It's just something I'm doing because I don't have a show. Might do more of these. I'm hoping to do more of these. I gotta provide some kind of content. But quick summary: got the Patriots beating the Eagles. Loving what the WWE is doing so far, even though I have some gripes. And maybe I'll do a show next week. Maybe I'll do another one of these next week. But until then, you know where to follow me. Instagram, I'm still Bob Blah. Facebook, if you know my name, Cedric Farrell, you can find me there. Snapchat, Bob Blah 92. Twitter, Bob Blah 92. And yeah, peace out.